Excellent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from sunny Lanzarote, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, about 60 kilometers west of the Sahara Desert. I'm enjoying my time here, and thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. I'm going to do something a little bit different. A little while ago, I came across a video that I watch on a fairly regular basis, and I love all of the video apart from the last three words. So, through the magic of technology, I've taken the last few words out and stopped the video there. I'm only telling you that because if you come across this video on YouTube and you say, I'm going to share this with some of my friends, okay, watch it yourself. Make sure that the last few words are suitable for your friends. I've chopped them off. So I'm gonna share that video with you in just a second. But before then, I'm going to say welcome to a Wealth Warriors presentation. It's Sunday, the 30th of November, 2025, and we're going to run through a standard presentation for Wealth Warriors. Then there's going to be a question and answer session at the end. So it's going to be fun and hopefully informative. And yeah, let's get the show on the road with the video that I wanted to share with you.
Say it. We're all in this together. Whatever the hell this is, we're all born into this crazy world the same. We're born naked, with no teeth, helpless, without a clue, and we can't survive on instincts alone. We need help. We need help from the second we take our first breath, because we're all capable of feeling pain and suffering and misery, heartbreak and sadness. And from the moment we leave the womb and begin our mortality, we need others to steer us safely through all of those perils. We've been given this precious but fragile, unfathomable gift of life, and we need each other just so we can keep hold of it. But we can make each other happy. Don't you see? Do you see that all of this could end at any moment? A solar flare from the sun could wipe out our entire existence right now, or even now. But look at that, it didn't. We're still here. And it's the fact that this is finite that makes life so damn wonderful. The realization that every moment that goes by is a moment that we might not have had. A new moment that we can utilize to find enjoyment, find happiness, find fulfillment, find love. Rewards we couldn't find and probably wouldn't even be looking for if our life on this earth was endless. If we weren't hurtling towards our death, if we weren't just a little bit scared by the harrowing foregone conclusion that we're all going to die, we wouldn't be able to find love because we wouldn't need the comfort of being loved. If we lived forever, we wouldn't need each other. We wouldn't be supportive. We wouldn't be kind. We wouldn't embrace. We wouldn't need any of that. We'd just be. A life without fear is a life without love. And that to me is just existing without ever truly living. If we lived forever, we would never feel the full beauty of what it is to be alive. I mean, take a look at each other. Look at the person next to you right now. How can you not love that person? What an absolute miracle that person is. The fact that every part of them, each one of the 11 trillion particles that combine to create that person, particles that on their own would be nothing more than cosmic dust, have assembled obligingly to create a person. A person with hopes and dreams and ambitions and insecurities and fears. A person who's acquired a collection of stuff to assist them on their journey. That person is just like you. They're uniquely individual, but they're just like you, whether they're black, white, brown, male, female, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. They're the same as you. A complex, sentient consciousness expressing themselves in the body they were born in. And just like them, you are undoubtedly astonishing. Take a look at yourself. Have you considered what it must have taken for you to even be here? That each of your ancestors had to survive long enough to reach the age of reproduction, then chance upon finding the exact mate they did, and then to breed at a precise moment in time. So the only line of DNA that could ever result in you found its way. For that to happen over and over and over again for like 4 billion years. Take a look at yourself. You are the closest thing to impossible that you could possibly imagine. So to believe that anything's impossible, is to not believe in yourself. You can be whoever you want to be. So it would be a travesty if you didn't take this life and be the best version of yourself you possibly can be, and use your existence to spread joy to everyone around you. Because we can't do it alone. So let's unite. Let's unite and drive each other to greatness. Drive each other to happiness. And see yourself not as an individual, but as one part of a bigger organism. And that organism is humanity. So the happiness that you bring to others is happiness you've brought to humanity itself. Therefore, it is your happiness. So the answer of how to be happy.
Okay, that was interesting because I played the wrong video. I almost blew it there. I played the wrong video. I kept the one that I'd started with, and even though I'd edited it, so whew, narrow escape there. Excellent. I love that. I love that video. And the guy's a comedian, and how he came up with that train of thought is just amazing. But I love it, and it kind of echoes my own thoughts, my own feelings, and my own sentiments about other people. So some people struggle to relate to other people to sort of realize their place in the universe. For me, it's just a constant amazement every single day that we're all in this together, and it's I love it. I love it. So I'm going to share now a standard presentation for Wealth Warriors. And so here we go. I'm, as you know, I refer to us as financial freedom fighters. And the reason for that is because there are so many things trying to stop us from achieving our financial freedom. And we've come across that again just in the last week or two, a good, reliable platform that we thought we had tucked up. We thought that was working for us. We thought they had our best interests at heart. Turns out they didn't. They had their best interests at heart, and we were just the means for them getting what they want. And we shouldn't really be surprised because most of the world are like that. Certainly, most of the corporate world, it's about what they can get. I think they play a very short-sighted game because they could actually make a lot more money. They could achieve a lot more of their own goals if they would help us achieve our goals. But most corporations don't think like that. It's about the bottom line. So, we are financial freedom fighters. There are so many things arrayed against us to try to stop us from becoming financially free. And being absolutely blunt about it, you're the only person who cares if you become financially free. Okay, the government doesn't, your boss doesn't. In some cases, your kids don't. In some cases, your spouse doesn't either. They just want you to shut up and be content with your lot in life. But you know that there's more than that. You know that you can be more. You want to achieve more. You want, this thing that we've just heard on the video there about life being such a wonderful thing. You want to have more of it. You want to go to the well of life with a bucket, not with a thimble or a teaspoon. So you have to do that yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you, but we can team up. We can do things together, but nobody's going to do it for you. They'll do it with you. Wealth Warriors will do it with you, and that's what we're doing. Is we're building a team of like-minded people. So, a disclaimer, of course, nothing in this presentation is given as financial or investment advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community. However, we do promote online platforms that meet our strict criteria. And if you decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose and carry out your own due diligence. And the presenter, there we go, presenter does not hold himself out to be an employee or agent of any of the companies mentioned herein. I'm the same as you guys. I've signed up as an affiliate, or I've signed up as an advocate, or I've signed up as an agent, whatever it is, these different platforms require you to be. So I'm the same as you in that sense. So what's the problem with online businesses? Why do we have to go to all the trouble of setting ourselves aside and taking the extra effort of building something like Wealth Warriors? Well, the first problem is there are just too many scams out there. There are too many people out there that are prepared to take your money and take it away from you, not give you anything in return. And we see that in so many different things. Even good, reliable platforms sometimes turn out to be scams. So they look good right at the beginning, but there's an ulterior motive, and you can't possibly know that until you've been working with that platform for a year or 2 years or however long it takes for them to reveal their true intentions. So we can't rely on any one platform. We can't put all of our eggs into one basket. It just would be crazy to do that. And as wealth warriors, we've always advocated not doing that. There's another category of business, online business. They're not scams, but they are poorly run businesses. And you have poorly run businesses online and offline. And if you look at your high street where you live, there are businesses that were there 5 years ago that are not there now. Some of the businesses that are in your high street now won't be there in 5 years' time. Typically, Lloyd's of London, the insurance people, have they produce actuarial tables, I believe, every year, and they consistently over the years, for the last 50 or 60 years, they've identified that 97% of businesses started at any one time won't survive to the 5 year point. Okay, so forget about actually making, sorry, that might be 95%. 95% of businesses don't survive to the 5 year point. Forget about making money. These businesses don't even survive. Of the people, of the businesses that do achieve 5 years, most of them are not making money yet. Okay, because the money they started out with, things changed. They had to retool, they had to regroup, they had to borrow more money. The regulations are more difficult than they thought. There's just so many things against making money that the whole system is set up against people who try to make money. The best thing, if you want to have an easy life, is don't try doing anything. But for you and I, that's not an option, because I'd rather go down swinging. I'd rather go down fighting for what I want and what I believe, a better future for myself, my family, future generations. I'd rather go down swinging, even though the odds are stacked against me. Because if you do nothing, then you're just gonna, it's basically your brain is dead and it's just waiting another 40 years for your body to catch up with it. And to me, I couldn't live like that. Those businesses aren't scams and don't go bust. They get shut down by regulators and government departments simply because you get a few people complain. The regulators say, well, we've had a number of people complain about this business. Now, we don't understand this business, but it looks a bit like this other one that we still didn't understand, but we shut it down 6 months ago. So if I think this looks about the same, I'm going to say it's the same and I'm going to shut it down. And if you read any of these cease and desist orders, the government departments send out to businesses, there's no facts in it. It's all supposition. It's all opinion. There's no real meat on the bone. So I've read a lot of these, and there's nothing in them. But still, it's enough for them to seize the company's assets and shut them down. And even if the company isn't doing anything wrong, and we've seen a few businesses say, well, we're going to fight this, but it takes them 4 years and 20 million or 30 million or $40 million in court. Meanwhile, they're doing no business. Their name's being dragged through the mud. Okay, but they win the court case after 4 years of hard work and all that expense, and then they can get back to doing what they said they were going to do. Okay, most companies don't do that. Certainly, a lot of these businesses that we think they're businesses, they're not really. Somebody's got a good idea, builds a website, says, "Come and give me some money, and I'll do this and I'll do that, and you'll make some profit." Okay, they're not really businesses. They're just somebody's good idea translated into an online platform. When the regulators even look at them in the wrong direction, they say, "I'm out of here. I'm packing up shop." I actually worked with the company. If I were to mention this guy's name, some of you would know him. You were in this business. I know some of you were, and he said, "Look, this has all gone horribly wrong. What do I have to do in order to recover this situation?" So I did a quick analysis. Only took me a couple of hours, and I sent him a big long list of things he needs to do. And he looked at it. He said, I can't do that. So, well, if you want to recover the situation, that's what you need to do. You need to set up your company properly. You need licenses and proper staff and registrations and uh, you know all sorts of good market capital. It can't just be relying on you and one coder. You just can't run a business like that. You get hit by a bus and the whole thing's gone anyway. So you just shut up shop and walked away because it was too difficult for people. Don't understand how difficult it is to set up a business. But those who do, they let the rest of us down. They set up a business that's never going to work, but we don't know that until we either analyze it or in some cases get involved and then realize it's not going to work because it doesn't work. It's always a clue that it's not going to work when it doesn't work. We all figure that out then. The thing is, it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you cannot become truly free. If you've got one platform that's producing a huge amount of money for you, you are still not free. Okay, that's anything can happen to that one business. You're not financially free, you're not time free, and you're also not free from government control. So what can we do about it? Well, we can carry on making the same mistakes we've always made. That's one option. Some of us are not happy with that. But collectively, we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry if we just band together. There's an old expression or an old saying about somebody trying to teach a team of salespeople the benefit of unity, and they stood up in front of the group and they got a pencil and they snapped it and they said, one of you is easy to break. And then they got 4 pencils and it was more difficult. They said that's a small team is even more difficult to break. But then they got 20 pencils, and even the strongest person in the room couldn't break 20 pencils. They said, so if we work together, then we're an unstoppable force. And that's kind of what we're trying to do with Wealth Warriors. It's not a brilliant analogy, but we are trying to work together. And anybody who has knowledge and information can input that. We can, we can work together to, well, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, we can work together to avoid pitfalls. And if there are any pitfalls to be had, I'm the first one in. If somebody's going to lose $100 checking something out, it's going to be me. Now, the thing is, we're safer together, and that's what we want is safety. Because with safety comes time. Because we don't want to buy into this greed mentality that seems to abound in this industry. The greed mentality is, look at this new thing, it's all shiny, and isn't it great, and it's wonderful, and all these people are saying how wonderful it is, and all these great players are getting involved. Okay, let's get in now, make as much money as put as much money as you can in, cash in your pension and put it all in. Sell some of your children, put all that money in. Take out another mortgage on your home, put all that money in, get as much money in there as you can, make as much money as you can as quickly as possible, and then get out before it goes bust. That's greed talking, and we all do it. I do it. It's one of the worst things I do, and I have to give myself a very strong talking to several times. Well, certainly several times a month, where I say, "Why are you doing this?" Okay, and I don't like the answer. Well, don't do it then. Yeah, but I really want to. Don't. Grow up. So, and we all do it. I don't know if I'm the only one who's prepared to admit it, but we all have greed, and if we didn't, it wouldn't be much of a sin, would it? One of the 7 deadly sins. So we all think like that, but we have to fight against it if we want better results. We've got to do things better. So the idea of having safety, having a platform that's going to be there for a long time means we can start small and build big. We don't want to start big and just put everything in and hope that we can survive the year or whatever it takes to get our money back. That's just crazy. Some people like the adrenaline rush, of course. Good luck with that. How's that working out for you? Okay. People often say, well, what's the benefits of Wealth Warriors? Why do we're going to go through all this hassle? Why? Well, there are some concrete benefits. The first benefit is that you'll never lose all of your money to a scammer again, because you don't put all of your money into any venture. Benefit 2, you will protect your permanent network of contacts. And to me, that's the most important thing, because we're all social creatures and we all care about what other people think of us. If we introduce people to a platform and encourage them to put money in, most people put in more money than they should, okay, and then they lose it. not only does that person blame you, but you blame you as well. You feel awful that you've introduced people to something where they've lost money. And I know many, many people that are part of the Wealth Warriors program. And I talk to them, I say, you can do this passive income. And also there's this team building thing. They say, well, I don't want to build teams. And the reason they don't want to build teams is because they've been let down in the past. They realize the platform that failed them caused them to lose face, lose friends, lose family, don't get invited to as many Thanksgiving dinners. Okay. And it's all because they introduced them to a platform that then failed. And what we're saying now is that you can introduce people because we're going to be working with platforms that even if they do fail, we're going to stick together as a team. We're not going to, it's not going to be a case of somebody's lost life-changing amounts of money. So it's better for protecting your network of contacts. A real benefit that most people don't even realize yet, but you will when we bring on platform, when you build a team within Wealth Warriors, and we bring on a new platform and you just build that within days rather than weeks or months. Okay, you'll realize the benefit that you will build future business much faster with far more profit. It's just a function of what we're doing. Benefit 4, you'll build one business and you'll grow all the businesses. Whatever's in our portfolio, you introduce people into one platform and then you introduce them to the rest of Wealth Warriors and they're interested in all the other platforms as well. So you build one and grow all of them. And they may not be massively interested in the one that excites you, but they're then promoting the one that they're excited about. So, that's the way this works. Benefit 5, you start small and build big over a period of time. Benefit 6, you'll recoup loans, mortgages, and recent expenditure. We'll talk about that, not on this presentation, we'll hint at it a bit later. But on Wednesday, I go into the different platforms in a lot more detail. And one of the platforms talks about recouping all of this money that you've had in the past, you've created in the past, and you no longer have it, well, you can get it all back again. And benefit 7, you will become free, wealthy, and live an abundant life. So in order to do that, you need to do all of the things that we advocate in Wealth Warriors. If you do some of them, you won't get all of the benefits. Okay, it's not a mix and match approach. It's do it all or don't do it. So I'm going to show you an illustration of how it works. And to do this, I'm going to need to make some assumptions. And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't want you to think that this is exactly what's going to happen for you and your business. I'm making assumptions. Wealth Warriors deals with 4 platforms. Well, we don't. We deal with 5, although that may be 4 very soon, and then it may be 5 again. Who knows? You have 10 people in each platform, and you're making $1,000 per month in each platform. So that's the assumptions. So platform 1, you've introduced your brother, your colleague at work, and your best friend from school. Okay, and they've introduced a few people. Your income, based on 10 people in your team, your income is $1,000 per month. So let's park that, and we'll bring in platform 2. And what we do with platform 2 is exactly the same as we've done in platform 1. You introduce Alan, Bell, and Chris, and they introduce the same people, which means that your income goes all the way up to $2,000 per month. And your friends all earning, everybody's earning a proportionate amount based on the size of their own business. So now we bring in platform 3, and you have put the same people in the same place, and they've put the same people in the same positions. And so your income goes up to $3,000 per month. And then when we bring in platform 4, exactly the same thing happens. Your income increases to $4,000 per month. And so we run like that for a little while. And this assumes nobody introduces any more people. We don't introduce any more platforms, which of course, both of those things are going to happen. But you're quite happily working away and you're receiving $4,000 per month because of this. But then something happens to platform 4. And that might be that the guy decides he's not going to run it anymore. He wants to retire, live on a beach somewhere. So he shuts the whole thing down. It could be that it was a scam after all, but we didn't notice it until now because it's, we figured it out by the fact that they closed it down. We thought that looks like it was a scam. Okay, we're clever like that. And or it could be just any reason. It doesn't matter why it shut down. The regulators might have shut it down. Okay, but platform 4 is now gone. What happens to your income? This is very important. These two things that I'm about to say, they're very, very important. Your income doesn't drop all the way to zero. It only drops down to a lower level. So you can still survive on $3,000 per month. But the best thing of all is that these people you've introduced, Alan and Bell and Chris, they're not mad at you because Platform 4 was a scam or Platform 4 failed because they're still working with you in three other platforms. They're still making money. Yes, they've had a decrease in their income. And we're seeing that now with Bit Harvest. Bit Harvest has gone, or we're not able to withdraw any money. Okay. We're not relying just on Bit Harvest for our income. We have other sources of income. We have other platforms producing income for us. Maybe not as much as we like, but the principle's there. So what happens now is we go out and find another platform, and I'm going to call that Platform 5. You know, these names just come to me so easily. Platform 5, you introduce the same people as soon as you're in Platform 5. Now, it might have taken you, for Platform 1, it might have taken you 2 months to put 10 people in your team. Okay, when Platform 5 appears, it should take you about 2 hours because we've given everybody advance warning. Platform 5 is on its way. And as soon as it's available, Alan, Bell, and Chris are begging you for your referral link. They get your referral link, they sign up, they pass out their referral link. Everybody gets involved. Probably takes 2 hours for 10 people. And it's important to just everybody get on board and get that done as quickly as possible because when you've got 1,000 people in your group, you don't want people, 200 down in one leg to be waiting 6 months for all the referral links. You want that to happen. 200 people down, that should happen in about a week. Okay, so it takes a bit of commitment for everybody, but that means you're building Platform 5 far, far faster than you built Platform 1. And what happens then is your income goes all the way back up to $4,000 per month. So we run like that with Platform 5, 4 different platforms, same people in all the platforms, and you're all making money. So that's how it works. That's what we're trying to achieve with Wealth Warriors. So the biggest rule that we have that's going to allow this to happen for you is don't sign up in other platforms that come along. If it's a good platform, Wealth Warriors will adopt it at some point. And people kind of argue with me about this because it's not intuitive, it's counterintuitive. You know, we're taught by this greed, this mentality that we have, that we want to get in early. We want the early mover advantage. We want to, get in early and get as many people in our team, in our business as possible. Well, if you do that, you're going to lose all of the benefits we've just talked about because you won't be able to build a cohesive team of people who are waiting for you to pass them the link. If you do that. And the other thing is, imagine having 1,000 people in your 5 other platforms, and then you go out and find yourself one more platform, and you don't have a system for passing that link down to 1,000 people. It won't happen because it's not being promoted by Wealth Warriors. You're starting your business, your other business now from day one with one person, and that's you. Okay, and if you do try to do in your own business what you're doing with Wealth Warriors, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot because your people will do exactly the same as you're doing, and the whole thing will fall apart. Your bit of your community, Wealth Warriors community, will not work for you. They just will not work for you. So stick to what we're saying. Wait for the official adoption, if you like, of that platform, because it's better for you to be able to transfer all of your people into that platform and have them part of the system, promoting and teaching, training, and everything else, rather than trying to go it alone. You've got where you are now by going it alone. So now that you have access to this system, don't have the system sometimes and going it alone sometimes. It won't work. Like I say, people get I don't know if they get angry at me, but they don't understand this. You need to put your community first, not yourself. Don't put your own ego above the success of your community. If you do, you will not have the success of the community. However, do sign up in all the platforms that we adopt. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Do get your personally introduced people to do the same as you, and do support your own people by learning about all of the platforms that we adopt. So the rules aren't there just for the fun of it. They're there for a reason. we want to build, we want to get security of income, we want to build your permanent network, and we want to become wealthy and live an abundant life. Like I said, doing what we've been doing up until now. There's an old saying. I actually posted it as a motivational thing. I don't know if anybody got motivated by it, but it says, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always have what you've got right now. And it sounds crazy, but that's the truth. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always have what you've got right now. So being community centric means that you put the community first, not yourself. You can't do both. Okay, you can't say in this part of my business, I'm going to put me first, and in this part of the business, I'm going to put the community first. People will see you're a fraud. So many people, I see so many business leaders, they say, yes, I focus on my people. And then the very next thing you see them on a video, and it's not about the people, it's about them. It's about how great they are, about how much they've done, about how wonderful they are. Okay. So they're not focused on the people at all. And it's not easy. I talk to so many so-called business leaders who want to adopt what I'm saying. They love what I'm saying about building wealth warriors, and then I say, so you need to do this and this and this. And they say, well, no, we want to get in for it. No, don't do that. Make sure everybody else can do this. Yeah, but if I get in for it, no, don't do that. Okay, and they don't understand because it's so far removed from what they've been taught about this industry, about this business. Or business environment, I should say. And it's the greed mentality. It's very, very difficult to break because it manifests itself in so many different ways. And that's not what builds a permanent business. You know, we don't know people that have been around 40 years building businesses. Because I started this 50 years ago in an offline situation, building networking businesses, and they're just not around. Not because of I didn't have a system. I didn't have a system, but the system I was using that I've been taught by other people wasn't suitable to survive that long. It couldn't survive the death of some of those platforms, some of them multi-billion-dollar companies. When they died, the network, the organization dies. So remember, the platforms come and go, but the community is permanent. If I'd have known 40 years ago to build a community first and then apply the platforms, boy, my life would have been massively different. It would be massively different right now. So this system has only been available, really, we only started developing it about 2 years ago, and we made a lot of mistakes. So it's really, coming to fruition really in the last year or so. So remember that. That's an important aspect. Platforms come and go, but the community is permanent. If you forego everything else for the sake of one platform, boy, that's crazy, because that platform won't be there forever. But the community will be. Build the community first. And this is where so many leaders struggle because they are platform centric. They're focused on the platforms. And you can be part of Wealth Warriors only if you follow the rules. And that's nobody saying you're not part of Wealth Warriors. You can claim to be, that's fine. But you know you won't be if you're not following the rules. You won't get the results. So we have criteria for adopting the platform. One, it must be available everywhere. If there's a platform that's presented to me and it's brilliant in every other way except is not available, for example, for our friends in the US or our friends in Canada or our friends in Australia, for example, then it's pointless doing it because we can't maintain lines of sponsorship. It also must have a unilevel compensation plan. We don't want matrices and binaries and all this sort of thing. People must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, $100, $200 possibly. Okay, more than that, then we're going to lose people who say, I can't afford to pay $1,000 to get started. I can't afford to pay $11,000 to get started. I just can't. So it's got to be a very low entry cost. And the reason those three things are important is because we want to be able to maintain lines of sponsorship. And if we can't do that, then we can't build the community. Okay, it's as simple as that. A platform that we adopt must be based on real-world applications, not just a money game or a shell game. So if they say they're trading, let's see the trading results. let's see how they're trading. Let's see who's doing the trading. Okay. If they say they're doing arbitrage, let's see it. If they say they're in real estate, let's see the real estate. Okay, that sort of thing. Not just a money game, not give me some money and I'll give you more money in 5 days' time, 30 days' time, or whatever. Well, what are you doing to make the money? Well, we're not going to tell you. We do everything. We do oil and gas and gold and crypto and fiat and you know, we do a bit of everything. Don't worry about it. We'll just make you give me your money and I'll make you more money. Yeah, no, thank you. Even if they do for a while, they won't forever. If there's a company involved, and there isn't with all of these platforms, but there is in a lot of cases, then we investigate the company. And investigating companies has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. There's a tried and tested system for figuring out how good a company is. Not even whether it's legitimate or not, just how good it is. How well prepared are they to provide the services they say they're going to provide? Okay. And there's a big checklist of about 500 different things. And I go through that. I don't go through the checklist. I know what I'm looking for. And based on the results of some things, I go down a different route and so on. But I know what I'm looking at when I'm looking to verify a company. And if it can't be verified that they're a good company prepared for what they say they're going to do, then we don't get involved. And it upsets people when their cherished recommendation gets thrown out by me because they're saying, "Well, they've been paying me for the last 3 months." I'm sure they have, but we're not doing it because we can't verify who they are, what they're doing, their licenses, their registrations, their market, their capital investment and repute of management, and we just can't verify everything, so we don't do it. If possible, so some businesses are based on smart contracts. Now, the opposite is true with smart contracts. With a smart contract, the only proof you've got that the smart contract is working is that it works. It pays out at the end of the contract. So therefore, the only proof you need that a smart contract is working properly is that it pays out at the end of the contract. Okay, it's as simple as that. With a company, you can't rely on that at all. Just because they're paying out doesn't mean they're a good company. You have to look at everything else that goes into that. If possible, we must be able to meet the CEO or the business owner, and having met him, we must have gotten all of our questions answered. And I do like it when people want me to check out a business and they introduce me to the CEO. I like that because I like to know there is a CEO, it's a real person. Check out what his business experience is, and so on and so forth. His commitment to his company. It's always good. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable, and the membership of wealth warriors must all be able to get behind the project. So we avoid things that are a little bit dodgy, a little bit ambiguous, a little bit bordering on the ethical or the unethical, whichever side you want to come from. Okay, so we avoid that because we want everybody to be able to get involved. So technically right now we have 5 platforms. The first one is Republic of Old Souls, and it used to be the Matrix. It used to be called Matrix Freedom. Some of the material that we talk about is still involved in Matrix Freedom, but they're rebranding to the Republic of Old Souls. So it's part of the freedom movement, and when you register as a member, you become a member for free, and you can be a paid member simply by saying, "Okay, I like the idea of these services. I'm going to pay for this service." That's it. You're now a paid member. If you want to introduce other people, you have to become an advocate. And if you want to introduce other advocates, you become an advocate originator. So 4 different parts, if you like, progressions of your career with these people. Now, they will teach you everything you need to know in order to recoup money that you created in the past for, say, mortgages, money that left your bank accounts, repayment of loans, reclaiming taxes, and recouping payments that you've made and so on. They'll provide all the information you need for you to do it. They won't do it for you. Simply because there's too many regulations involved in them doing it for you, and they don't want to get involved in those regulations. It muddies the waters, makes it almost impossible to do, but they will provide everything for you. It'll be as easy as possible for you to do it, but it still requires you to watch some videos, read some ebooks, be on some webinars, understand, learn, grow, develop. In some cases, you have to pass an assessment so that you are competent to be able to do these things. So the first protocol that you probably want to learn about is the infinite money protocol, which is where you recoup some money, for example, past mortgages, you recoup that, put it in your bank account, and then when you spend it from your bank account, the following year you recoup the money that you spent from your bank account. So then you receive that money once you've recouped it and you put it into your bank account, you spend it, and then next year you recoup that money again. So it's an infinite money loop. That's probably the one you're going to start with, but there are several to choose from. Bit harvest, I'm not going to talk about bit harvest. We are pending an update. That means we're just waiting to find out what's going on. It's highly likely, and you haven't got to agree with me on this, but I was talking to somebody earlier today, and actually they're on the call, so they'll be able to tell you this is true. What I said was, and one of the watchwords I often use is, when a platform changes, is if we were presented with bit harvest right now, we wouldn't get involved. In the form it's in right now, we just wouldn't do it. Okay, so therefore, moving forward, yes, we may be able to get some money out eventually, a few dollars here, a few dollars there, maybe tens of dollars, maybe hundreds of dollars. Okay, and if there's money to be had, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to turn it down, but I'm also not going to focus on it too much. I'm not going to take time and attention away from building proper businesses, waiting for bit harvest to do something. Okay, so to me, it's something that's on the back burner. Get something get something if I can, but I won't be spending any more time promoting it to people, and I certainly won't be buying any more boosters. That's just me. You make up your own mind. But what I would say is just consider, if we were presented with bit harvest right now, would you sign up for it? And when you can answer that, then you've got the answer you need. BitNex is a great business. I love BitNex. It started out as a company called Cryptex, changed its name because there were too many other Cryptexes around, and some of them have been doing some dodgy things. What I like about BitNex is it's involved in staking. Staking is a tried and tested system for making more money. Banks have been doing it for about, I'm going to say about 3,000 years. Merchants would give banks their money, and the banks would say, well, while you're not using that, in fact, they wouldn't say it to anybody, they'd just do it. While they're not using that money, we're going to lend it to other people and make some money on that. Okay, so they were making money on other people's money. And so staking is kind of similar to that, in that we've moved into the digital age with it. So you stake some money to basically to allow to other people to use exchanges, and you pay so the money that you provided pays the fees until after the transaction. Then the customer repays the fees plus a little bit of profit, and you get your share of that profit. What I like about BitNex is that if you put $100 into staking and you're going to make 0.05%, 0.05% per day on $100, that's not going to excite anybody. That's what, half a cent a day? That's not going to excite anybody. But if you can take that $100 and borrow $30,000 or $43,000 and stake that and get paid 0.05% a day, that's nice. Now you're going to get $50 a day. Well, you only put 100 in to start with. Now you're making $50 a day. Now you can't touch that money. You can't get that money until the end of the staking period. But where else are you going to be able to put $100 in and after 2 years take out $20,000? Put $100 in, after 3 years take out $35,000. And nowhere, there is nowhere else. If you've got anything like that, show me and I'll do that as well. But this is a great, great deal. Veralio. Now, Veralio, I love Veralio. I've got great faith in Veralio, but it's been, as you know, we started with it. They tested it out. It got great, great results. And then when they let it loose in the wild all on its own, it started losing our money. So they stopped it, and then they checked it out, changed a few things, got great results while they were testing it, let it loose, and it started losing money. So they took it offline again. It's been offline now for about 4 weeks. So we're not really promoting Veralio, but we will. As soon as they fixed it, we will. Or if they say that it's just too tough, we can't do it, it's not going to work, in which case then we won't pursue it any further. Another business I love is e-estate. E-estate is involved in tokenized real estate. Tokenized real estate's been around for about 10 years. It's the way real estate is moving again. Everything's changing with the advent of the digital age. Things that used to happen offline now, wherever possible, is happening online, or is being adapted for online. With offline real estate, if you wanted to buy a skyscraper, you would need to come up with a big chunk of money and borrow the rest from a bank. With tokenized real estate, if you want to have a share of a skyscraper, you can get involved in that for, I don't know, we haven't got any skyscrapers, so it might not be a good example, but let's say $1,000. You might buy a small share of a skyscraper for $1,000. You can buy a share of a house in Florida, share of a villa in Florida, share of an apartment in Dubai, share of a business development in Australia, okay, for very little money, sat at home in your pajamas with a cup of coffee. And it takes you, when I buy a property now, it takes me 3 minutes, maybe not even that. So it's great. Now there's a system where you get paid great returns for the first 18 months, and then it drops into what they refer to as the passive phase. Now I think that's strange because to me it's all passive. I give them my money and they give me more. They give me money back every single day. So to me that's passive. But they refer to it as the active phase for 18 months. Some of the properties, it will take you 6 months to recoup your investment, which means that if it keeps doing that again for another year, you're going to get out 3 times what you put in. You put in $1,000, you get back $3,000, and then it goes into the passive phase where you get a small amount of money every year for years and years and years and years. Okay, so based on that, if you're trying to compound your properties, you can put $1,000 in now. In the next 6 months, you'll get back $1,000. So now you can put another $1,000 in. Well, now you've got 2 properties. So it's only going to take you 3 months then to get another $1,000 you can put back in and get another $1,000 worth of property, which means it's only going to take you 2 months then to get another $1,000. And so it just continues compounding. Meanwhile, the first one that you started, by the time you've got about 7 or 8 properties on the go, the first one goes into this passive mode. And so you're continually replacing and updating on a regular basis. So that's one way of looking at how to do it. You haven't got to do it that way. That's just sort of my thoughts on a good way to compound. Now, all of these platforms, as well as having this passive income, we always look for 2 things with these platforms. One is the passive income. You can get in for $100, $200, and just by doing that, you make some money every day. And then the second part is if you want to build a team of people, then there's a compensation plan. You get bonuses for this, you get commissions for that, whatever it is. They're all different, but we always like to have the 2 options. A lot of these businesses or a lot of these platforms then get into more complicated things. They introduce a Visa card, for example. They introduce a game. They introduce just lots of other things. Okay, it's up to you if you get involved in that. I'm not going to tell you not to. What I'm going to tell you is I'm not going to do it. I'm only interested in the passive income and the team building income, and that's it. All these other things are unnecessary complications. The time it takes me to learn and study and understand that, I could have developed another platform by then. Okay. And then when you're doing all these things, you're tied into one platform more than you're tied into all the other platforms. And when there's more things to do, there's more things to go wrong. Yeah. So when that's it, there's more things to go wrong. So just focus on what's important to you. And I suggest what's important to us as wealth warriors for our dreams and goals is to have the passive income, the team building income, and anything else is just gravy. So we're looking at another platform called Zopair, which is a trading bot, an AI trading bot. It may replace Feralio, it may not. We may run with, if they both come good, then it may end up with 2. I don't like to have 2 platforms doing the same thing. I think if you're going to do it with anything, trading is the thing that you want to you can get away with it. If you had, we wouldn't want 2 platforms, for example, dealing with real estate because we'd be competing with them. We wouldn't want two platforms with DeFi staking, because what's the point? And to a certain extent, what's the point of having two AI trading bots? But some people might like Zopaya, some people might like Feralio, and that's it really. I just think the way things are working out with Feralio, it may not be a bad idea to have a backup. So things we like is it's got a great track record from testing. I've seen the trading results from, or the testing results from April to now. It's automated trading. The funds are safe in your own exchange account, as far as they are safe in an exchange account. Bear in mind, if it's not your keys, it's not your money. So you don't want to you don't leave all of your money in your exchange account, because things do happen to exchanges the same as happen to any other business. But you have enough platforms to choose from that you should be able to choose one that you like and trust. And I would suggest, again, have 2 or 3 exchanges. So Zopaya, with Zopaya at the moment, there's 8 exchanges ready to go. So as soon as it's online, I'm going to be using 2, possibly 3 of those. I'll set up a trading fund in 2 or 3 different exchanges, because if something happens to one exchange, and that's where all my millions are, it's going to be a disaster. Whereas if I've got 3 exchanges with a few million in each one, then and something happens, maybe they freeze the funds in one of those exchanges, it's not a disaster for me. It's just a minor inconvenience. Okay, so set to launch in January 2026. I'm waiting to find out if we're going to be promoting this actively, if it's ready for everybody to sign up and get set up now. My experience is it isn't, but I do know other people have managed to set up their bots and this sort of thing. You also get, oh, I'll cover that in a minute. There's also a manual service, a signal service. You push a button, so you select it, it'll say, we think this signal has got a 60% chance of hitting all 5 or 6 of these different targets. And so it's up to you. You push the button and take the trade, or not, just leave it in the auto setting. There's a $50,000 demo account for every person to learn and understand. And I like that, because people like to get comfortable with something before they put their real money in. There's also a little bit of a pull. If you get somebody set up in a $50,000 account and they see themselves making $1,000 a day in their demo account, they'll be saying, you know, if I open my own $50,000 account, I'd have made $1,000 today. Okay, so I'm not saying they should put $50,000 in, but there is a pull for them to stop playing with the demo account and start putting their money in, which is, you know, is good for us as a team. Having more people within the system, you know, putting their money into these things keeps the world going round. Great. There's a great team building compensation plan. Down 40, it's up to 40%, down 8 levels. I'm not going to explain that in any detail. In the back office, if you do register, there are records, the testing records back to 16th of April. Kinesis money, I'm going to skip through this very quickly because we've run out of time. We needed somewhere to park our money when we make money from Republic of Old Souls, when we make big money in BitNEX, okay, and you need somewhere to put it. I've looked at so many banking systems, online banking systems, they all profess to be the biggest and best and the fastest and the most low-calorie, rust-resistant and everything else, okay. Most of them aren't. Most of them are not suitable for what we want. Kinesis money, I honestly believe, is the platform that we need to use going forward. One of the main reasons is that we can set up a trust account. We can set up an account in Kinesis money for the money in our private trusts so that the government can't touch it, okay? Also, you can spend your gold and silver and your platinum and your Bitcoin and your Ethereum and your Litecoin and your dollars and euros and pounds and yen on one credit card. You've got it all in your Kinesis money account. You just tick some boxes and you can spend that, whatever asset you have that you've ticked the box for, you can spend that on the high street. You know, for example, you've just made $10,000 in gold and you think, well, I'm going to go buy something with that. Then you tick the box for gold, go and spend some money on your card, and the card takes your gold and cashes it in and pays that, whatever it is you're buying on the high street. So it's, and you might say, well, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's gone up. I've just made $10,000 in Bitcoin. I'm going to go and buy something with that. You get a partner reward program just on the people you introduce. It doesn't go down many levels. Bear in mind, this isn't really I'm not presenting this as a business. I'm presenting it as a banking system. I don't think really we should be making money on helping people find a decent banking system. You may disagree, but that's just what I think. We make money on helping people in the businesses. We don't necessarily make money. This is like if you had a bank account and your bank says, if you introduce a friend, we'll give you $50 and we'll give them $50. It's kind of like that. Okay, you can spend on your MasterCard and you receive a cash back. You get paid cash back in gold and silver, which is pretty cool. Today, they had their successful audit of their, I think it was their silver, they had audited today. I posted it in the Telegram group. And you can spend it quickly, gold, silver, fiat, crypto, quickly and easily on your MasterCard. So the money actually stays in your account. It doesn't get transferred onto the MasterCard. It stays in your account. That when you activate the MasterCard, whatever's needed gets taken from your account at that point. So you're not, if Bitcoin is going up in price, you're still receiving the value of that up until the point you take it and spend it. So our communications, we run a Telegram super group. Make sure you get added to that. We hold this Zoom every Sunday at 10 o'clock. Attend yourself and bring new people. Attend the Zoom calls with the platforms. They're scheduled published in the Telegram group. Take your people with you. So you don't need to be an expert on all of these platforms, but you do need to know a little bit. You need to know how to get your link, how to register, how to make your first deposit, how to buy your first whatever it is, real estate or your first contract, whatever it is, how to help other people get started, and how to withdraw money. So kind of just the basics. You don't need to be an expert by any means. For the Republic of Old Souls, join as a member. It's free, and work your way through the webinars and books at your own pace. Once you're a member, they'll start inviting you to the webinars they do, several a week for different subjects. So start getting good at that. Start learning that. What to do now? Get the referral links for all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation. So I know some of you have been in Wealth Warriors for a while. You were in Bit Harvest with us, and you've come on here to find out what Wealth Warriors is all about. As far as we can, stick to the line of sponsorship from Bit Harvest or from Wealth Warriors, wherever you got involved. Okay, because it's important to do that. If your introducer in Bit Harvest isn't here, then chase them up and say, "Come on, you need to join up and get us these links to maintain these lines of sponsorship." It's kind of an honor thing. They introduced you, they took the time to bring you on. So try not to cut them out if you can avoid it. So once you've got the links, register in all the opportunities, make a note of your referral links, and then pass those links on to your people to invite them to this, to your existing frontline members or to people you invite to see this presentation. Make a minimum payment into all the opportunities if you can. If you can't do that, start with one, start with two, make the minimum payment, get started, learn how to do that deposit, buy the first contract, whatever it is, and then as you can, flesh out the other platforms. Try to balance your investment across all of the platforms. So that if you put all of your money in one platform and that's the platform that fails us, then being in Wealth Warriors hasn't done you any good at all. Ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group, attend a Zoom call or watch the video for each platform you've added funds to your account. As new platforms are added, make sure to get the referral link from your upline and join as quickly as possible. By all means, phone them and pester them or send them an email. Say, "Come on, I want this link." And I get that a lot. People phone up and say, "My people are pestering me for a link." And I say, "Well, just sign up then, give them the link." It works really, really well. Pass your referral link to your existing team. Get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as you can. Grow your Wealth Warriors community by bringing more people to these Zoom calls. Start by bringing them to the one on the Sunday. Don't bring them to the Wednesday one because they wouldn't understand the Wednesday one if they haven't seen this presentation. You can also share this video or any of the Sunday videos from my YouTube channel. You only have to promote the one or two platforms you're excited about. You bring your people along then to Wealth Warriors, and they'll hear the same presentation you've just heard. They may not be interested in the one or two that you're promoting. They might be interested in something else, so they get into that with you. Okay, you haven't got to try and promote 5 platforms, 6, 7, 8, 9 platforms. Nobody can do that. You sound like an idiot if you start talking about, well, do you like this? No. Okay, well, what about this? No. Okay, well, what about this? It just sounds so unprofessional. You promote the thing you're interested in and then bring them along here. Even I do that. I don't try and explain Wealth Warriors to people. I give them this video. Build one platform and have 5 or more platforms grow below you. We're looking at a registration system. I'll keep you updated about that. You can get a landing page from BitNex. Our upline in BitNex has made available to you this link, and you replace the bit at the end that says your BitNex wallet ID. You replace that with your actual BitNex wallet ID. And then when you give that out to people, they don't just go to a registration page, they go to a landing page with a video and some words, in fact, 2 or 3 videos, and some explanation about what BitNex is. When they click on the link to sign up, then they register on your team. But it's not just a referral link. Don't you hate it? Somebody says, here's my referral link, and you go there and it just says name, email address, whatever. No, I want to know some more information. There's a landing page in your e-estates back office you can customize yourself. I'm going to skip through this. There are landing pages and PDF documents and all sorts of information available. But like I say, we're out of time. So why are we doing this? We're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only want to work with companies that are doing it for the long term and companies that are above board. The two aren't mutually exclusive, but they do go together really well. We build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income. So if we're buying real estate, we want to have a lot of real estate. If we're buying DeFi hybrid contracts, we want to have a lot of DeFi hybrid contracts. Okay, so whatever it is, we want a lot of it, so that we can get a lot of a lot of income from it. We're only interested in platforms that meet our criteria. And I apologize to people who send me platforms that they love, and I say no because it doesn't meet our criteria. I know they get upset with me, but I'm not gonna change that. The point is that we apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We don't want to be at the mercy of any one company. That's happened too many times in the past. And yeah, so we're interested in what we want, not what the company wants to give us, not what our upline wants to give us. Okay, we want what we want, and we're prepared to change things to suit us, to make it happen, not to please anybody else. So finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Therefore, do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. And where it's available, set up your 2FA on your account. And if you don't know what this is or how to do it, there'll probably be an FAQ or training module or something like that. But if that fails, just Google 2FA. Google knows these things. The reason I'm so hot on 2FA, even though it's a real pain in the butt, especially when you're trying to do things quickly, it's a real pain, but it's the only protection you have over your account being hacked. The company provide a username and password and maybe some other checks, okay? But you have no control over that. If they get hacked, then that's it, game over. But if you've got 2FA, if you set up 2FA on your account, nobody can, for example, change your wallet addresses or withdraw money without your 2FA. So it's your only protection against being hacked. So take it seriously. Yes, it's a pain, but do it. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. I often say write it down, keep it safe. You know, I've never seen a bit of paper get hacked. Never seen a bit of paper sat on my desk be hacked by somebody in Russia or Ukraine or Nigeria or anywhere. Okay, they just can't do it. So write it down, keep it safe. And if you have it, keep it in a safe. And make sure the executors of your will, your living will, your power of attorney, or your beneficiaries have access to this information so that they can access all that millions of bitcoins that you've amassed over the next 5 years, or millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that you're going to amass over the next 5 years. Wouldn't it be a shame to do all that and then something happens to you and nobody's got the benefit of it. Nobody even knows where it is, let alone how to get it. So make sure you have this information available to pass on if it's needed. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. Get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They are ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. With that, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop the recording. But before I do that, I'm going to say thank you to those of you that watched this recording through to the end. I do appreciate it. By all means, it's suitable to pass out to people to explain Wealth Warriors to them. If you've made it this far, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We do these videos, they all go in the same channel. Thanks for the love, Lulu. I appreciate that. Those of you that are on the call with me, I always appreciate seeing you guys. Thank you for being here. And we'll do the same. Sorry, all these hearts coming up on the screen. I appreciate it all, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do this again on Sunday next week. Same time, same channel. And on Wednesday, same time, same channel, we'll be going through the different platforms, spend a little bit of time on all the different platforms. So guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to switch off the recording and then we'll get into a question and answer session for those that are on the call. God bless. See you on the next one.